This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
I request you to feel free to ask any doubts. Okay, in this session, hello, are you available? Hello, in this session, we will discuss on one more control statement, that is switch statement. Switch statement is a simplified version of nested if statement, we can say. The format of it is like this. Okay. These are usually used for menu driven functions, that is for if we have a multiple choices of execution according to the value which is depicted within this braces, or other we can have an expression too here, but usually we can say that if value is here, and if it is having an integer value, it should be an integer value, or it could be a character value also. And according to this value, what are the conditions, what are the body of executions which we need to do a value, for example 1, then starting from this case onwards, the execution will be done. Suppose if it is returning 2, then starting from this case 2 onwards, it will be executed. And the conditions are that this value should be either an integer or a character constant, character value, and here it should be a constant value. Variable is not permitted here. It can be an It can be a value similar to here integer or constant. And here the braces are not compulsory. If you want, you can use it, otherwise also no issue. These braces are not compulsory. If any of these cases are not validated, then default case will be validated and the body in within this default will be executed. We will see with an example so that it will be easy for us to move forward. Good. Um, can anyone interpret this output? Let us make it little interactive too, so that it will be very easy in whether the discussions are getting completed or otherwise it is reaching. If anybody can interpret what is the output here, why it is so, it will be useful for us. Okay, since we have given the value as input 2, we'll see the program now. We make a note of this output. We are at case 2, we are at case 2 and wrong value entered. Okay, make a note of it. Since we are given the value 2, from case 2 onwards, the execution will happen. Case 2, case 3 and default, all three will be executed except case 1. If we are given value as 3, then case 3 and default both will be executed. So this is the normal execution of the program. This is how switch expression will run. Okay, this is the format. While if we want only the case 2 to be executed, then we have to include the statement which we have discussed in the last session, that is break. Okay, for default break is not required since it is the last one. Okay, now we will run the program and see. We are at case 2. Okay, this is the difference. So here we can add number of cases limited to the value of I. It can accordingly we can write any number of cases. This is similar to if statement. If we have wrote in if statement, if the value of I is equal to 1, then we need to execute this. And similarly, if statement for case 2. This the if statements will not make it easy to read, so switch can statement can be used in that places also. While switch can also be looped with any other instructions like if, while, for also. While switch can be looped within itself, like switch statement can have one more switch statement inside its own loop, and there is no requirement that case 1, 2, 3 should be in a sequential format. It can be mixed format too, and it can be expression too, which can return an integer value. It can be a character also, like if we say this as C, characters. For any representation of character, we use the keyword character. So for this, we will be using an apostrophe. A, C. So we are at case A. Okay. Similarly, we'll run one more. D. Wrong value entered. Okay. So if suppose we'll run the program once again. Caps A is entered. Wrong value entered. But we cannot expect a computer user to, then we should tell, if we are expecting only lowercase, then we have to intimate to write a lowercase. If we are only writing value less than D, character less than D, okay, then in that case, like we have seen, we can use this the regular format of the switch protocols. So you see here, now since case A is not having break, the case body need not be filled with any instructions. Necessarily, it is not necessary. Okay, so case A is executed. If suppose if we type A and then there is no statement, and so case smaller case A will also be executed. Since case caps A is not having any break statement, the consecutive cases will be executed. Now we will run the program and see. We are at case A. We'll run one more time. We are at case small c. So this is how switch case statement can be utilized. Here, suppose if we are using a decimal itself, then we can go for expressions too. But it should have to return only and will only an uh, integer value or character. It should have character value. That's it. So we will stop here and go to one more example where we can see what is the uh, how we can use this switch statement little more extensively. Okay, I'll take the previous program. We'll modify that. We'll combine while loop here. While will keep executing. While one means that while loop will be keep executing continuously, and so under any circumstances only it will be coming out. Okay, so we need to give a condition so that the while loop will be broken and it will come out. Semicolon is used, then switch will be closed. Anybody wants to text? Instead of texting, you can interrupt and tell me now, since I'm not be able to access the text now. I think we will not bother about the factorial output since we have edited the last time the program. So this is how we can use it, and we'll the loop will be continuous, so we can't come out of it. So we need to, since we have used continuous while statement, we cannot come out of it, and so we need to break it. So we will need to use one more inclusion to exit. We will see a exit function, how it will be helpful here. So we are now seeing one new function, exit. To use that function, we have to include a new library standard library. That is standard library. So we are going to use this. We have a one more selection, printf. If we use T here instead of N, a tab space will be created. Okay, one tab spaces will be created in the display. So we need a fourth choice now. That is case 4, exit of 0. So this is the new function. If we want to come out of the program temporarily, that is to terminate the program, that is to come out of this infinite while loop, then we can use exit. See, a tab space is created after exit. So now I'm selecting 2, enter 2 values, 2 space 2. So 0 is the value. So now we'll go for third one also. Maybe output, maybe right or wrong. 3 into 2 to 1. There is maybe some mistake. Factorial after while is 12. 3 into 2 is 6. I think we should get it. Okay, I understood the mistake. Now, if we want to exit the program, we have to press 4 and give enter. We have come out. Yes. Factorial now value is correct. And so this is how we can use switch statement for running any menu driven programs. So do there is any doubt in this? You can ask. Do there is any doubt? uh, Next session we will start with functions next session, so it will be little bit critical. And so if we are clear till now, then we can go forward for next session with the functions, how to call functions, how to handle functions. That is, in the current program we have done, we have what, if you have seen in the, now what we have done is, we have previous program, we have just we have brought this factorial in the case 3. Suppose this is having lot of instructions in this. Suppose if we can make this as one function itself, defined function, and we can call from case 3. That is, the previous program itself we can modify a little bit, and it can be called as like main function, we are program is starting. So here like that we can self define one function, and we can call just the function from the case 3, and we will be writing all these statements, this this these statements separately inside a separate function, so that the readability will be increasing. Here we have wrote this many statement within the case 3, isn't it? So that is a helpful function. And we can give expressions also here like this. We need, and so by doing this we are not using like a, we are, if we are doing like this we are saving one character. Otherwise what we should have done, we should have done c is equal to a minus b. In this case what is happening is, one more character c needs to be included, that is one more integer we have to include. By including one more integer, we are increasing by 2 bytes of memory in the program. And so since we are not going to use c anywhere in the program further, and we need not be stored, so that is the reason I made the expression directly built in the printf. So the load on the program will be less. That is, the resource required for the program will be is reduced by 2 bytes of memory. And do you have any doubts in this? I'm closing this. And in far, I forgot to mention one thing in the last class. That is, we have counter increment, and within the far. Okay, and this counter increment, for if we take an example for for statement, this is how it is. And so first a will be counter value. We can initialize counter value also here, and it will be b is the test condition. Okay, b is less than 10, and this increment or decrement or anything, this value, this expression will be, this increment value will be executed after the uh, when this closing brace is executed. Okay, so initially a will be assigned to 1, 1 will be assigned to 1 a, and then this condition will be tested. If so, this loop will be executed, and then the increment will be happening. Okay, so shall we close the session today? So a request, that before getting into next session, we should have some we should be comfortable till today class. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask now. Okay, thank you. Bye.